Minnesota Governor Tim Walz unveiled his state budget proposal this week, including a plan to return a portion of the state's record budget surplus to citizens. But lawmakers will have a lot to say about the budget before it's enacted. Here to talk about the budget and more is Representative Natalie Zeleznikar, a Republican from Fredenberg Township, representing House District 3B. And welcome back. Good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
So you haven't even completed your first real month of the session, but how are things going so far? Is St. Paul everything you expected it to be?
You know, after running a 24-hour business for 30 years and having 2 kids in competitive hockey, I had good training.
What are the major bills you're working on, Natalie?
You know, I'm working on healthcare. You know, I've been spending a lot of time meeting with providers to figure out hospitals can't discharge, nursing homes can't take admits, getting wages increased for you know, nursing home, assisted living, making sure we have transportation, non-emergency, and EMS for ambulance services, making sure all the spokes in the wheel are there so that we can care for seniors is one of my #1 priorities, and Social Security cuts.
Do you find that aligns with your colleagues in St. Paul? Or do you think that progress is going to be made in terms of those issues that you're
On the
looking for?
healthcare piece, it's interesting because I think we have the largest group of people aging, and I think it's been a topic that's been pushed down the road far too long. So we have a lot of care needs, we have a worker shortage, and so, you know, I'm going to be pushing to get this done this session. We can't wait any longer or we'll have a lot of closures.
Natalie, your thoughts on rebate checks, giving some of the state surplus back to taxpayers?
Absolutely, 100% yes. We need to I mean, a $17 billion surplus says we've taxed the people.
That's large.
Yeah, it's large. It's monumental. So, for sure.
Another thing the governor is suggesting is reducing taxes on Social Security. Is that something else that you could get behind?
Absolutely.
Are there things related to taxes in the proposal that you're not so excited about?
You know, anytime that we can give the money back and make sure we're supporting job creators, which are businesses, making it a business-friendly state, you know, it was, and making sure that our middle-income families aren't getting squeezed. You know, the cost of living is going up for everybody, and so we need to make sure that we're, you know, looking at property tax relief for people because house values have went up, so have property taxes. So those are some of the things I want to see done for our citizens up here.
Natalie, I know you're an advocate for gun ownership here in Minnesota. You feel it's part of our culture?
You know, I don't think it's just, it's an amendment right. I mean, it's a right to bear arms. It's clearly stated. And so I think that, yes, I think it's law-abiding citizens should be able to have a gun.
The Minnesota House advanced a bill requiring states' utilities to achieve 100% carbon-free electricity by 2040. Realistic, good for the state as you look ahead?
I think clean energy is good for the state. I think it's an unrealistic plan. 100% we don't do for anything. We don't fund anything 100%. And so I'm for having a diversified energy portfolio, which would include hydro, you know, fossil fuels, wind, solar, and all of it. And an all or none mentality I think is going to hurt northern Minnesota because if we have a blackout like California or other places, we don't have a backup plan.
Natalie, how can access for child care services be improved here in Minnesota?
Well, I just was touring them today in Hermantown and seeing the early childhood programs. So I think having teachers, we need to have child care teachers so that we can have the classes. And so getting pathways for healthcare education in the high schools, health occupation classes for nursing assistants, EMS, and also child care providers I think is huge. And then getting the programs to the families.
I want to go back to the carbon-free electricity for a moment because the Biden administration, as we mentioned, has placed that moratorium on new mining near the boundary waters, effectively killing Twin Metals. What do you think the impact could be?
I think it's tragic. I mean, this very device that everybody in this country uses requires the very minerals we have. And right here in our backyard, and we're going to get it from China. So I think it's short-sighted and unfortunate.
So could that potentially slow down the clean energy in Minnesota then?
I think it's gonna because solar panels and everything, we're gonna get all of our products from China instead of being able to get things here. So we could have been creating jobs for northern Minnesota and that doesn't look like it's gonna happen and that's to me tragic.
Regarding the economy, Natalie, I know you've said that you have a strong commitment to the trades. How can we continue to develop that?
I just met with, the superintendents from schools. I've looked at Proctor, how they built houses there. I think we've got to get equipment into the high schools that match what we're doing so that the kids have access to, welding and all the different things, shop classes and all that stuff that kids know that there's more than one plan. The trades need people, and a lot of entrepreneurs started in the trades, and they've run successful businesses, and they need help.
Is it hard to get the trades into the schools?
No, I don't think so. I think the trades, the businesses are going to partner together, and they want to do that. And I think the schools want to do it too. So we need to, that's one thing that's a priority for funding for post-secondary is secondary ed for the 2-year programs, 1-year programs, and certificates.
Last year, no bonding bill passed. This year, the governor is calling for more than $3 billion in infrastructure projects. Are there local projects that you see coming forward that you could really
Rice Lake
put
has a
yourself
sewer water extension that is on there, and there's other ones too. Hermantown has a community ice arena center that's been on the list, and then there's other things in 2 harbors, getting land transferred, and also the Minnesota Department of Transportation has Highway 61. We have gap funding there, so we have many things we're working on for the area.
Are you finding that it's tough to be a Republican with both houses and the governor's seat in Democrats' hands right now, or are things pretty civil right now?
I don't know. This is my first time. Here's my thought. Leadership requires people to be collaborative. So you're not going to get you're not going to get things done across the aisle, whatever title you have. So my style is to be collaborative. Let people know. It's a trifecta, so they have the votes to be able to do 100% no collaborative. But I don't think that's true leaders. And so I think leadership in business and everywhere else, they work collaboratively to find the best solutions. And I hope we can do that.
All right, Representative Natalie Zeleznikar, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you
get
for
some
having
rest
me.
over the weekend.
Yeah, I will.
Thank you, Natalie. Thank you very much.